Yo, and hello there, welcome back my fellow pixelators. As you know, in the last Minecraft pixel tutorial build on Kurama in part 11, we completed the entire outline, as you can see right here. And now all we got to do is to shade it in. So once again, I'm going to be doing the same as usual. What I usually do is I'm just going to mark out the areas to where the colours are, and so we're going to outline those areas. And then we're going to gradually fill over those areas. So I'm not going to fill all of it in. What I'm going to do is just mark the outline and then cap over it with the other colour so you know which area which each coloured block goes, and then at the end of the video I will be cutting to all the parts filled in so you can see what it should look like and what yours should look like as well once you have done all the outlining and marked it all out and filled it in yourself. So with that note being said, for today's blocks we're going to be using black wool. We're also going to be using orange terracotta, orange concrete, red concrete, grey concrete, red wool, snow, white terracotta and light grey wool. So there'll be a list on the screen if you want to pause the video to grab all of those blocks. And we're going to be using all the colours today. And we're pretty much going to fill in all the other colours apart from orange concrete and orange terracotta. And that reason being because, well, we've got shade on the tails and there's barely any shading for the rest of the colours. So without further ado, let's fly to the first area. And we're going to go to the feet first. And for the feet, we're going to need our snow block. And we're also going to need our light grey wool. And we want to fly to the very left one sticking out here where the claws are at the bottom. So fly all the way over to this one right here. And for the first area, we want to be flying all the way over to the left right here. And we want to be flying to the very left where this one's sticking out to the left. So you can see these two upright diagonals right here on the very upper left hand side. We want to fly to here. And this first one right here, we want to take out our light grey wool. And we just want to fill one light grey wool in there just like so. And then take out your snow and then do an upright diagonal. So fill in the other gap just like so. And then moving up in an upright diagonal direction to this kind of L shape here, as you can see, take out your orange concrete and fill this in with orange concrete. Might as well fill this in there as well. And then we're also going to do an upright diagonal from here, so you fill in that gap there. Once you've done this, we want to move down to the next section. So to this section underneath where we did the light grey wool and the snow, we want to fly to the very bottom right here, so this piece right here, as we want to place one light grey wool here and do an upright diagonal from here. So we should be looking like that right there. Once you've done that, take out your snow and fill in the remaining two blocks above it. So one right here and then another one right here. And there we go. We should be looking like that right there. Once you've done that, we want to move down to the next sector. So these two upright diagonals here. So as you can see, it's actually like a lot more. It's 6 upright diagonals like in total. But we're only going to be doing these two from the bottom here. And the very bottom one is going to be light grey wool. And then you're going to do an upright diagonal with our snow. And then the rest would be orange concrete. I'll leave the orange concrete just for a second. And then moving on to the next sector, we want to be moving up to the right to this sector right here, as you can see. And at the very bottom left, right here in this corner, take out your light grey wool, place one to the left in this corner here, and then place one to the right, and then do an upright diagonal. And then there you go. And then these two little gaps right here, as you can see, that's going to be filled in with our snow block. So fill that in. And there we go. We should be looking like that right there. And our final sector right here, flying over to the right in this gap right here. Once again, in the bottom left corner, take out our light grey wool, place one in this corner, just like so, and place one to the right, and then do an upright diagonal. And there you go. The rest of this is going to be filled in with snow inside here. So take out your snow and fill that in. And then once we've done this, we're going to zoom out. We're also going to take our orange concrete and we're just going to fill all these areas in. So we're only going to fill in these areas here because we do have some shading, but the shading is like over there. But we just want to fill in these like gaps as well, just so we don't get confused. So just fill a bit in just like so. Mainly just prioritise like the upright diagonals kind of areas. I'll show you an end result in a second. Okay, we don't want to go too much out of our way. Just want to get the gaps in. And there you go. And you should be just looking like this so far. As you see, it's not really much from very close in, but that's what it should be looking like so far. Once we have done this area, we're going to zoom out and go to the next pool area. So here we go. To the right here. As you can see, there is a gap here where there's two upright diagonals. As you can see, nothing is in there because that is part of the air going up here, as you can see. And we're going to be doing this area right here. And we want to fly to these 3 upright diagonals here. So fly towards here. Once again, start from the bottom in this one right here. Take out your light grey wool and place one in this one right here. then do an upright diagonal. Then from this upright diagonal, take out your snow block and do an upright diagonal. From this snow block right here, we're actually going to do a bottom right diagonal, just like so. And from this bottom right diagonal, do a bottom left diagonal. And then from this bottom left diagonal, do another bottom left diagonal, just like so. And then once you've done this, all the rest of inside here at the bottom is going to be filled in with light grey wool. So we just fill this in with our light grey wool. And then moving over to the right, to our next sector right here, as you can see. For this sector, we want to be flying actually to the right corner this time. So up on top of this 3 right here, as you can see. And we want to be flying to the right corner right here. As with our light grey wool, we want to place 1 in this corner. We then want to place 2 going up. So 1 and 2. Then fly underneath by 1, so this middle one right here. Place 1 to the left. Then place 1 underneath. Then place 1 to the left. And then do a bottom left diagonal. And there we go. The rest of inside there is going to be filled in with snow. So take out our snow block. And we're just going to fill this in. Just like so. Once we've done this, we want to move to the next sector. So moving on to this sector right here, as you can see. Once again, with our light grey wool. This time we're going to fly to the bottom left corner. So this one on its own right here, as you can see underneath. Place 1 light grey wool in there. Then do an upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, place 1 to the right. And place 1 on top. Once you've done this, take out your snow block. And fill in all the rest inside here. And once we've done this, we can zoom out. So that's all the areas there done. So we don't need to fill in the orange concrete in here because you can see it goes in there. And also because there is orange terracotta right there. So there's no point filling it in. That one we just did because there's like all those kind of upright diagonal areas. So once we have done this, we want to move over to the next pour. So flying all the way over to the right side right over here. To these 2 here. So we're going to be going off this one right here. And then we'll come to that one sticking out later. So this one right here, starting from the very first one on the left hand side. Once again, taking out our light grey wool, we want to fly to the very bottom. So this one's sticking right here, and as you can see there's 1 gap. With our light grey wool, we want to place 2 going up from here. So 1 and 2. We don't want to place 1 to the right, and then we want to place 1 on top. We don't want to place another 1 to the right, and place another 1 on top. Another 1 to the right, and another 1 on top. And there we go, as you can see we've got a 1 gap up here. And once we have done this, take out our snow, and with our snow, we're just going to fill all of this in. And we just fill in all the above, right below. I mean above, not below. There you go. So we should be looking like that right there. Once we have done this, moving over to the next sector. This sector right here. Once again, take out our light grey wool, and we're going to be flying to the bottom again. So right underneath here at the bottom, place 1 light grey wool down, and then we're going to do 3 upright diagonals. So 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. The rest of inside here, above, is going to be filled in with our snow. So once again, take out our snow, and just fill it in, just like so. So we should be looking like that right there. Once we have done that, move over to the next sector, to this sector right here. Once again, we're flying down to the bottom one on its own, sticking underneath right here. And place 1 light grey wool in this gap right here. And then do 2 upright diagonals this time. So 1 and 2. And there we go. Once you've done this, take out your snow and fill in this area. Just like so. And then once we've done this, we're going to move to the next sector. So this line going down. Once again, fly down to the bottom. Take out our light grey wool. And we're going to place 2 going up from the bottom. So 1 and 2. Then take out our snow and fill in the rest, which should be a 3 gap. So 1, 2, and 3. And there we go. Now moving over to the next final sector, over to this sector right here. All of this is going to be filled in with our light grey wool because it's all shaded, because it's behind the other port. So just fill all of this area in. So what I mean by this area is I just mark the outside, just so you can see where, but you should be able to see anyway. But there you go. As you see, all of those gaps there is filling in with light grey wool. So we might as well fill it in as well. And there we go. As you can see, we should be looking like that right there. And now, once we've done that, we're going to move to the next area. So we're going to be moving over to the face next to fill in the rest of the face details. So, without further ado, let's zoom out. As you can see, there's a bit of a fuller zoom out. And we want to be flying over to the very actual face. And we're going to be flying over to the mouth. Might as well do the mouth first, as it is the easiest. So all of the mouth inside here is going to be filled in with snow and nothing else but snow. So let's fill all of this in. But before we fill in the snow, you can see there's one area underneath the mouth, and this is kind of basically I guess, a bit like a chin, or it's more like on the leg or so. And this area right here is shaded in with orange terracotta and orange concrete. So we're filling this area first, just so you don't get confused, and fill that in as well. So if we fly all the way to the right hand side in this area, to this kind of right spot right here, on top of this 3, to the right hand side, take our orange terracotta and place 1 on this corner, and then 2 to the left, 1 and 2, and then fill in the rest with orange concrete. So just fill above, and then go down, and there you go. So next, the mouth. So we're just going to fill this all in with snow. I don't usually fill all this in, but as there's not a lot to do, we might as well just fill it all in. So I only usually fill in the areas that are kind of small, as a sense. Not really the big areas, because obviously you don't want to watch the big areas being filled in. You just want to fill in yourselves. So I just show the end result just to make sure you don't go wrong, and obviously I show you all the outline for it to make sure you know where to shade and everything. But again, areas like these, they're just, you can kind of do them sometimes. Which is a very awkward area to be fair though. There you go, that should be everything. So there you go. There is the end result of the mouth right there filled in. So moving over to the next area, we're going to move to the nose. As you can see, that little 2 gap is just filled in with snow as well. So let's just fill that in, shall we? And there we go, we're done with the nose. So for the final areas, we're going to be moving over to the eyeball right now. So as you can see, the eyeball is this area right here above the mouth, at the top on the right hand side, where you can see the inside of the ear as well. So we're going to be flying over to the eye, and we're going to fly all the way to the bottom left corner of the eye right here. So in this bottom left corner, we want to take out our light grey wool, and we want to place 1 in this bottom left corner. Once you've done this, take out your snow, and we're going to place 3 going to the right. So 1, 2 and 3. Then fly all the way back to the left, back to this light grey wool, and we're going to place 2 snow going above it. So 1 and 2. And once you've done this, with our snow, we're going to do 2 upright diagonals from here. So 1 and 2. Then take out our light grey wool and place 1 going to the right. Then take out our snow and place 1 going underneath. Then take out our light grey wool, place 1 going to the right. Then take out our snow and place 1 going underneath. And then once you've done this, we're going to take out our red wool, and we're going to place 1 going to the left from here. We're then going to do an up left diagonal. Then from this up left diagonal, we're going to do a bottom left diagonal. And then from this bottom left diagonal, take out our red concrete, and we're going to place 1 going underneath from here. And then take out our red wool, and then we're going to place 1 red wool going to the right of this red concrete. And then take out our red concrete and place 1 going to the right of the red wool. And then this one little gap at the centre, take out our black wool and fill it in with our black wool, just like so. And then there we go. We're done with the eye right there. So for the next area, the inside of the ear. The inside of the ear is quite simple, and it's just filled in with 1 block. So all the way in here, all the way up to the top right there is filled in with our grey concrete. So I'm not going to fill all of this in, so I'm just going to put a bit in, and I'll show you the end result at the end if you want to see what the end result looks like, just so you make sure that you don't go wrong. And so basically a reference to base it off. And there we go, that's enough for there. So again, I'm not going to fill all of that in. So there's one more area to finally do, and that is our white terracotta. So for this white terracotta, we're going to be flying back to the eye area. And on top of the eye, you can see there's a thick outline for the black concrete right here by the ear. So there's 3 going up right here. And we want to fly up to that 3 right there. So I can see we're on top of this kind of 3 going up from the eye right here. And once we have flown over to here, we want to take out our orange concrete. And we want to place 2 going up from here. So 1 and 2. And take out our white terracotta and place 1 on top. And then do 2 bottom left diagonals. So 1 and 2. And then there we go. We are done with that area right there. So we can zoom out. And that's all the other blocks used. So obviously all we got to do now is just fill in the grey concrete. And then once you filled in the grey concrete, we won't be needing any of those other blocks because, well, we filled it all in. And there's still obviously a lot more shading to do. And that's all the orange concrete and all the orange terracotta, which 2 colours, and there's a lot. So without further ado, let's get started on the shading. And today I think we're going to try and get most of the body done, hopefully. We won't be moving on to the tails. There's probably going to be like 2 more parts after this. And we're probably going to do 1 half of the tails and then another half of the other tail. depending on how much time it takes, that is. So without further ado, let's go and take off our orange concrete and our orange terracotta. And for the first area, we're going to be flying over to the foot again. So we might as well do the feet first. And we're going to fly back to the left one where we started off first. And we're going to take our orange terracotta. And to make things as easy as possible to go off a nice area for us, the area we're going to be going off is we're actually going to be flying up on this left leg, but we're going to fly up to the mouth. And as you can see, under the mouth, we've got a thick layer right here at the very bottom. This very bottom piece of the mouth, so not that little part there, this bottom three are right here as you can see. And we want to be flying to the very right of the three, so all the way to here. And we want to be placing 2 orange terracotta going underneath from the very right one of the 3 right here. So 1 and 2. And now I'm just going to zoom out just for those that didn't get the area we're going off. As you can see, we're going off that area right there. So again, under the mouth right there, as you can see on the very right hand side of the 3. So flying back in towards this 2 that we placed underneath. So back to this second one, we're going to place 1 going to the right from here. And then flying to the left by 1. So back to this left corner here. Place 1 going underneath. Then place 1 going to the left, and then place another 1 going underneath. Once you've done this, we're going to fly back to that one sticking up to the right. So back to this one here. Once we've flown back to here, place another 1 to the right, and then we're going to place 1 going underneath, just like so. From this one that we place underneath, we're going to do 3 bottom left diagonals. So 1, 2, and 3. From this third bottom left diagonal, place 1 underneath, just like so. And then we're going to do another 3 bottom left diagonals from here. So 1, 2, and 3. And from this third bottom left diagonal, place another 1 underneath, just like so. And then we're going to do 6 bottom left diagonals from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And from the 6th bottom left diagonal, we're going to place 1 going to the left from here, just like so. And then we're going to do 3 bottom left diagonals. So 1, 2, and 3. And as you can see, that third one has connected to the second one of this black concrete going down here. And from this third bottom left diagonal we just did with the orange terracotta, we're going to place 5 going underneath from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're then going to do another bottom left diagonal from here, just like so. And from this bottom left diagonal, place 3 going underneath. So 1, 2, and 3. And then from this 3 that we just placed underneath right here, we're going to do another bottom left diagonal from here. And from this bottom left diagonal, we're going to place 2 underneath, so 1 and 2. We're then going to do another bottom left diagonal. From this bottom left diagonal, place 1 underneath, just like so. We're then going to do another bottom left diagonal. And from this bottom left diagonal, place another 1 underneath, just like so. And then we're going to do another bottom left diagonal. And from this bottom left diagonal, place 4 going underneath. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're then going to do a bottom right diagonal from here. From this bottom right diagonal, place 2 underneath, so 1 and 2. And then we're going to do a bottom left diagonal. From this bottom left diagonal, place 3 underneath, so 1, 2, and 3. And then do another bottom left diagonal. And from this bottom left diagonal, place 1 underneath, just like so. And there we go. We're done with the first leg. So we're not quite fully done. So for those that are new for the channel, who've never done shading here before, let me tell you what we're going to do now. So on the right hand side, inside this leg piece right here, is all going to be orange terracotta going in the right hand side. So those gaps right there you can see, that's not on the right hand side, that's on the left hand side. So that's going to be orange concrete. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our orange concrete. We're not going to count this area. What we're going to do is we're just going to outline on the left hand side on top of the orange terracotta. So if I fly over to the left right here, I'll just show you a quick example. So I'm just going to mark it just like so on the left hand side, because that's where the orange concrete is going to go. And you make sure to only mark the outer edge. So there we go, I've gone all the way to the top just so you can see. And that's what we should be looking like right there. So every time we do a shading with one block, we're always going to shade over it just to make sure that we don't overspill. Because sometimes if I just say orange concrete here and we only did the orange terracotta outline, you might accidentally, when filling in the orange terracotta, you might accidentally overspill onto this side, and you may not even realise that that one piece of the outline that just went a tiny bit wrong actually looks quite bad. And not just that, it just doesn't look right as a sense, and it's hard to fix that because then you have to go back and watch the tutorial again. And that's why we always mark over, to make sure we just don't go wrong, and it makes it look nice so we know which area which each side is. So overall it's a lot better for us to do this. And also, when marking the outline of the area, make sure you only mark the outline and basically don't fill it in, because there is a lot of times there is more areas to shade over in certain areas, so that's why we only outline it. So again, without further ado, we're going to outline the rest of the top part. If you haven't done that part yet, go and do that part, pause the video. If you already have, then we're going to do the next area over to here. So again, on the upper left hand side, we're just filling this all in on the outside. So in this case, for this build, literally everything else is going to be in this area, but there is other areas where it's not. So again, those two gaps, filling in there. There we go, we're done. So again, in this section right here, it is all orange concrete inside this section all the way in here, and in that little gap there, and all the way down there, orange concrete and orange terracotta all on the right hand side, all in here. As you can see, that part right there is air, and as I said before, those two parts are air, and these parts we're not touching because that's part of the tails, and so. So again, once we have done that, we're going to move on to the next leg. So without further ado, let's fly over to the right hand side onto this leg right here. And onto the next paw, we're going to be flying to the bottom this time, and we want to be flying to the very bottom in this section here, that I said there was shade in here. So we want to fly to the very right claw, so this claw right here in this section, and we want to be flying to this 4 that's going up here. Once we've flown to this 4, we want to go from the very bottom, so right here, and we want to count 2 going up from here, so 1 and 2. And as you can see, we're on the second one going up from this 4 right here. And once we have flown to here, we're going to take our orange terracotta, and we're going to place 1 going to the right from here, just like so. So I'll zoom out. As you can see, we should be looking like that right there on this second paw that we started on with the shading with the claws. So flying back in towards here, once you're flying back towards this one that you placed to the right, do 2 right diagonals, so 1 and 2. From the second up right diagonal, place 1 on top, just like so, and then do another right diagonal, and from this up right diagonal, place 3 on top, so 1, 2 and 3. Then do another right diagonal from here, and from this up right diagonal, place 2 on top this time, so 1 and 2. We're then going to do another right diagonal, and from this up right diagonal, we're going to place 3 on top, so 1, 2 and 3, and then we're going to do another upright diagonal from here. And then from this upright diagonal, we're going to place 4 on top, so 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we're going to do another upright diagonal from here. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place 4 on top, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do another upright diagonal from here, and from this upright diagonal, we're going to place 3 on top, so 1, 2 and 3. We're then going to do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, place 1 on top this time, just like so. Once we've done this, we want to do 2 upright diagonals from here, so 1 and 2. And there we go. From the second upright diagonal, place 1 on top, then do another upright diagonal. And from this upright diagonal, place another 1 on top. And then we're going to do 2 upright diagonals from here, so 1 and 2. From the second upright diagonal, place 1 on top, just like so, and then do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place 1 on top, we're then going to place 1 to the left, and then we're going to place 1 on top, and then we're going to fly underneath by 1, so back to this bottom left corner here, and we want to place 1 going to the left, and then we want to place 1 going underneath, and then we want to do a bottom left diagonal, just like so. Once we've done this, we're going to zoom out and fly back up to that one that's sticking up right here, so fly back over to here. And once you're flying back to here, place another one going up, just like so. Then do an upright diagonal. Then from this upright diagonal, place another one going up. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal. And then from this upright diagonal, we're literally just going to go all the way up to the top. So just go all the way to the top until you hit the black concrete, just like so. And there we go. So all on the right hand side here, inside here, is going to be filled in with orange terracotta. As you can see, the black outline marks out the area where it should be in, which this is also going to be pretty much all orange terracotta as well, but we got an area of the shade. So fill in orange terracotta on the right hand side here, and then with our orange concrete, we're going to, once again, we're going to outline on the left hand side with orange concrete to make sure we don't spill over. So let's go and do that. So for when filling in these areas, to when you actually just want to fill it in, you can fill it in like right now after I fill in this area if you want, or you can wait at the end, just like I'm going to do it. So I'm basically going to mark everything out for the areas that we're doing today, and then I'm going to fill it all in at the end, and I'll show you an end result to make sure what yours should look like as well. But if you want to fill it all in now, then you can do that. You don't have to wait till the end to fill it in, but you just want to make sure that you fill in the outside of these sectors first before you go into the shading in. And there we go. So as you can see, orange terracotta on the right hand side inside here, and orange concrete in here. So again, if you want to pause the video and fill this in now, you can do that, but I'm going to do that at the end. So if you want to wait towards the end as well, you can do that. But again, I'm going to cut all of that out so you can do it anytime you want, really. Then, moving on to the next leg, over onto this one right here. So we do this one first, as it is the shortest area, and it's nice and easy to explain, because it's literally, well, a very tiny area to go. And for that area, we want to be flying up into the right corner of the leg, kind of up here. So in this sector right here, as you can see in the leg. So if you start from the bottom claw, so you just go all the way up, and we're looking at that sector right there, as you can see in the right corner. And we will be flying all the way over to there, and for the area we're going to be flying off, we want to be flying to those 2s there. So as you can see, those 3 2s going in the bottom right diagonal direction. We want to fly to the very bottom one, so this one right here, and so we want to fly to the very left of it, so to this one right here. Once we've flown to the very left right here, we want to take our orange concrete this time. And once we've flown to here, we want to place 5 orange concrete going underneath here. So orange concrete this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And once we place 5 going underneath, place 1 to the right and fly back to the left by 1. So back to this left corner here. Place 1 to the left and place 1 underneath. Then place another 1 to the left. And then we want to fly back to that one that we placed to the right. So back to here. Once we've flown back to here, place 4 go underneath from here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then place 1 to the left. And then place 2 underneath, so 1 and 2. And then there we go, we're done with that area. So on the right hand side, inside that little gap there, is going to be all orange concrete. And then once again, take on our orange terracotta on the left hand side of this orange concrete. We're just going to mark out the area, just to make sure that we don't go wrong. So once again, just marking out the area. So I always keep marking these areas in, because I want to make sure that you guys do this as well, to make sure that no one goes wrong. And there you go. So, orange terracotta is going to go all on the left hand side into that gap there, inside to there. So again, also orange terracotta, as we already know, is inside here, but it's going to go all inside here, all down there, and all the way down to here as well. Obviously, it's not going to go into here because this is part of this area here, but all the way down to the bottom there, and then it's basically capped off there. So, for the next area, the next leg, so we're going to be doing all the body today. Probably next part, we're going to do this half the tail, and then the next part, we do this half the tail. So, on to the final leg. So, for the final area of the leg, we're going to be flying all the way to the big line going up here. So, this big single line that goes all the way up, we want to fly into this line, and we want to be flying to the bottom of this line. So, we're going to count up a couple of blocks from here. And from the very bottom, we want to count 6 blocks, including this one we're looking at right here at the bottom, going up from here. So if you want to, we can take our orange concrete and we can place 1 going to the right, just like so, from the bottom. And then we can place 4 going up from here to make things as easy as possible. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there we go. As you can see, there should be 5 of those orange concrete in total going up from the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. As you see, we've got 5 of them. So once we've got 5 of them, take our orange terracotta. And we're just going to place 4 going up from here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to do an upright diagonal, just like so. And then from this upright diagonal, we're going to place 5 going up from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're then going to do another upright diagonal from here. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place 3 on top. So 1, 2, and 3. And do another upright diagonal. And from this upright diagonal, place another 3 on top. So 1, 2, and 3. We're then going to do another upright diagonal from here. From this upright diagonal, place 2 on top, so 1 and 2. And then we're going to do another upright diagonal from here. And from this upright diagonal, place another 3 on top, so 1, 2, and 3. Then do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, place 2 on top, so 1 and 2. Then do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, place another 2 on top, so 1 and 2. And then we're going to do 2 upright diagonals from here. So 1 and 2. From the second upright diagonal, do an up left diagonal. From this up left diagonal, we're going to do an upright diagonal, just like so. And then from this upright diagonal, we're actually going to place 5 going to the left from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then once we've done this, we want to do an up left diagonal from here. And from this up left diagonal, we want to place 2 to the left. So 1 and 2. We don't want to do another up left diagonal. From this up left diagonal, place 1 to the left. And then we want to do 2 up left diagonals from here. So 1 and 2. From the second up left diagonal, place 1 to the left, just like so. And then we're going to do 7 up left diagonals from here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. And from the 7 up left diagonal, place 1 on top, just like so. And then do 2 up left diagonals from here. So 1 and 2. From the second up left diagonal, place 1 on top, just like so. And then we want to do 4 up left diagonals from here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. On this 4th up left diagonal, we want to place 1 going to the left. And then from here, we want to do 2 bottom right diagonals. So 1 and 2. From the second bottom right diagonal, we want to place 1 underneath. And then we want to place 1 going to the left. We don't want to place another 1 going underneath. And fly back up by 1, so back up to this left corner here. And place 2 to the left, so 1 and 2. Then place 1 on top. Then place another 1 to the left, just like so. Once we've done this, fly back to that 1 we placed underneath, so back to here. Once we've flown back to here, we're going to place 1 going to the right. And then we're going to place 2 going underneath, so 1 and 2. And then we're going to place 2 going to the left from here, so 1 and 2. And then we're going to place 1 going underneath. Once again, fly back up by 1, so back up to this left corner here. And place 2 going to the left from here. So 1 and 2. We're then going to place 1 on top. And then we're going to place 2 to the left. So 1 and 2. Once we've done this, we're going to fly back to that 1 that we placed underneath. So back to this 1 right here. And we're going to place another 1 going underneath, just like so. We then want to place 3 going to the left from here. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we want to do an up left diagonal from here. And then from this up left diagonal, we want to place 3 going to the left. So 1, 2, and 3. We don't want to do another up left diagonal from here. From this up left diagonal, place 1 to the left, and just like so. And then we want to repeat this 2 here, 2 more times in a up left diagonal direction. So do an up left diagonal, place 1 to the left, that's 1. Do another up left diagonal, place another 1 to the left, and that's 2. And there you go, that should be 3 of those 2's in total, right there, in an up left diagonal direction. So 1, 2, and 3. Once you've got 3 of them, fly back towards the end of 1. Once you've flown back towards the end of 1 right here, do 2 up left diagonals. So 1 and 2. From the second up left diagonal, place 1 to the left. Then do another up left diagonal. From this up left diagonal, place another 1 to the left. And then do another up left diagonal and place another 1 to the left. And then we're going to do another up left diagonal. And this time from this up left diagonal, we're going to place 1 on top, just like so. We don't want to place 1 to the left, then fly to the right by 1, so back to this right corner here. And we want to place 6 going to the right from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then once we've done this, we want to fly all the way back to the left, back to that 1 sticking to the left right here. And then once we fly back to this 1 sticking to the left right here, we want to place 3 going to the left from here. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we want to place 1 on top, just like so. We don't want to do 2 upright diagonals, so 1 and 2. From the second upright diagonal, place 1 to the left, and then we're going to do 2 bottom left diagonals, so 1 and 2. From the second bottom left diagonal, place 1 to the left, and then going to do another bottom left diagonal, and from this bottom left diagonal, place 2 underneath, so 1 and 2. And we should be looking like this so far. And once we've done this, fly back to those 2 that we placed underneath, so back to here. And we're going to do another 2 bottom left diagonals from here. So 1 and 2, just like so. And from the second bottom left diagonal, do a bottom right diagonal. From this bottom right diagonal, do a bottom left diagonal. And finally but not least, from this bottom left diagonal, place 1 going to the left, just like so. And once we have done this, we're going to zoom out and explain the areas. So, there we go, quite a lot of outlining that we've done there. So, all orange terracotta is going to go all on the bottom hand side, inside here, all inside here, kind of up into there, and all the way down here. And on all the outside is going to be orange concrete. Now obviously we've got a bit more shading to do in some areas with the orange concrete, but we'll go and mark those areas out. But before we do that, we got to just outline it with orange concrete. So as I said, we always mark it out with orange concrete first. Make sure we always outline it. So actually all you really have to do is just copy me and make sure you listen to me, but sometimes when I explain things, it's probably not to the best standard. So it's always a lot nicer to look at things to really see the perspective that I'm talking about, which I'm sure most of you do that anyway. We just fill in the outline for this though first. So all inside of here as well, orange concrete right there. And we want to make sure that we always make sure we get everything. Don't even leave like a gap of orange terracotta that's sticking out. So there's little side pieces there that I just placed on over. You want to make sure you get everything all the time. And you really always want to try and make sure you at least go one line over, but if you can thicken it up a bit, when I say a bit, only like at least one more line over, but you could kind of see those areas that it gets thickened, like right here. Because of the way it's shaped also. And then we want to fly over to the left hand side here, and I can see this orange terracotta going down on the left hand side here. We just want to fill it in with orange concrete. There we go. So I'm just going to zoom out and pause a second so I can let my dog out the room as well. But also just to pause so we move to the next area. And there we go. We should be looking like that right there. Right, again, so back to those areas I was explaining as I was rudely interrupted by my dog. And I let him out. Right, so orange terracotta all inside here on the left hand side and underneath here. And orange concrete all on the right hand side. But as I said, we got some more shading to do. So let's go and shade those areas to make sure that we don't go over into those areas. So, for the area we're going to be going off first, we want to be flying over to that black concrete line sticking out right here on the right hand side of the body. So let's fly over to here. And for the area we're going to go off here, we want to go into the inside first, because we're going to go on the inside and the outside. So, on the right hand side, all the way in the bottom in this corner here, taking out our orange terracotta, we want to place 4 going up from the very bottom. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. We then want to place 1 going to the left, and then we want to place 1 on top. And once you've done this, take out your orange concrete and place 2 on top of this orange terracotta, so 1 and 2. And take out our orange terracotta and place 1 going to the left of the orange concrete, just like so. And then we're going to fly up left diagonal direction by 1 from here. So to the top of this black concrete here, and from this black concrete sticking up right here, we want to do an up left diagonal, just like so. So we should be looking like that right there so far. And flying back to this up left diagonal, do another up left diagonal. From this up left diagonal, place 1 on top, and then do another up left diagonal. From this up left diagonal, place 1 to the left, then place 1 underneath, then fly back up by 1, so back up to this left corner here, and we're going to place 2 on top, so 1 and 2, and place 1 to the left, and then place 1 on top, and then once we've done this, we're going to fly back down to that one that we placed underneath, so back down to this one here. Once we're flying back to here, we're going to place 2 going to the left from here, so 1 and 2. And then we're going to place 1 on top of here, just like so. And then we're going to place 1 to the left. And then from this one that we placed to the left, we're going to place 2 going underneath from here, so 1 and 2. And then once we've done this, we want to fly back all the way up, so back up to this left corner here. And we want to place another 1 on top. And then we want to place 1 to the left. And then we want to place 2 on top, so 1 and 2. And then we want to place 1 to the left. And then we want to place another 1 on top. Once we've done this, we're going to fly back to that 2 that we placed underneath. So this one's sticking underneath right here. And once we've flown to this one sticking underneath, we're going to place another 2 going underneath from here. So 1 and 2. We're then going to place 1 to the left, just like so. And then from this one that we just placed to the left, we're going to do 4 left diagonals from here. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there we go. From this 4th up left diagonal, place 1 underneath. Then we're going to do a bottom right diagonal. From this bottom right diagonal, place 1 underneath. And then we're going to do another bottom right diagonal, just like so. From this bottom right diagonal, place another 1 underneath. And then we're going to do 6 bottom right diagonals from here. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and there we go. From the 6th bottom right diagonal, we're going to place 1 on top, then we're going to do an up left diagonal, and then from this up left diagonal, place 1 on top, and then we're going to place 3 going to the right. So 1, 2 and 3. We're then going to place 1 underneath from here, just like so. Then from this one that we just placed underneath, we're going to place 1 going to the right. We're then going to place another 1 going underneath. We're then going to place another 1 to the right. And then from this one that we just placed to the right, we're going to place 1 underneath, then fly back up by 1, so back up to the right corner here. And we're going to place 1 on top, and then we're going to place 1 to the right, just like so. And there we go. Once we've done this, we're going to fly back to that one that we placed underneath, so back to here. And once we've flown back to here, place another 1 underneath, and place 1 to the right, and then place another 1 underneath. And there we go. Once we have done this, we're going to zoom out. So all the inside right here, inside this area right here, and that up left diagonal is going to be all filled in with our orange terracotta. That little 2 gap there, you can see, that's our orange concrete, because as you can see, it's inside this area. But all of that inside there is going to be filled in with orange terracotta. So once again, taking our orange concrete, we're going to fill in the outside to make sure that we don't overspill. And we'll start off in this little 2 gap here. And again, just on the outside, I'm just going to mark it all out, which you should be doing the same as well. So if you want to wait till I mark it all out, if anyone wants to see what it should look like, but you should be able to just follow along as well at the same time, or just know how to outline it. I'll always be showing you the end after, so you can always pause the video if you didn't outline in some certain areas that you needed outlining. But it doesn't have to look exactly the same, it doesn't have to be as layered as mine, or it doesn't have to be as less layered. You can always layer a bit more if you want. But as long as you outline it, that is completely fine. I want to make sure we get this gap here as well. And there we go. So, that's what that area should look like. So all the rest is filled in with orange terracotta. So we got a couple more small areas to do now. And for the first small area we're going to be doing, we're actually going to be flying directly to the left from here over to this area here. So once again, we got another line coming down right here inside the ear, as you can see. So not inside the ear part, but on the outer ear part, this line coming down here. Well, we want to be flying over to here, and so we're going to be flying to the very bottom left diagonal right here. Once we fly to this very bottom left diagonal, take our orange terracotta. We're going to place 1 going underneath from here, just like so. We don't want to fly up by 1, so back up to this black concrete here, and also going to place 1 on top. Once we've done this, we're going to do an upright diagonal from here. From this upright diagonal, place 1 to the right, and do another upright diagonal, place another 1 to the right, do another upright diagonal, place another 1 to the right, do another upright diagonal, place another 1 to the right, and then we're going to do 4 upright diagonals from here. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And from this 4th upright diagonal, place 1 to the right, and do another right diagonal, and from this right diagonal, place 2 to the right, so 1 and 2. Once we've done this, we're going to zoom out because we're doing that area there. So, all orange terracotta is going to go inside that little part there underneath. I'm not going to outline it yet though, because we want to fly to that one orange terracotta that we placed underneath, right here, underneath the black concrete. So the first one that we place, fly over to here. Once we've flown over to here, we're going to do an upright diagonal, just like so. From this upright diagonal, place 1 to the right, and then we're going to place 2 underneath. So 1 and 2. We're then going to place 2 to the right, so 1 and 2. And once we've done this, we want to fly in an upright diagonal direction by 1 from the second one that we placed to the right. So to this black concrete right here on top of this 2, so the very one on top right here. Once we've flown to here, place 2 orange terracotta going to the right from here, so 1 and 2. And place 1 underneath, and fly back up by 1, so back up to this right corner here. And place 1 going to the right, and place 1 on top, and place 1 to the left, and fly on to the right by 1, so this right corner here, place 2 to the right, so 1 and 2, and then place 1 on top, and then place 1 to the right, and there we go, we're done with that area. So, as you can see, the inside right here is going to be filled in with orange terracotta inside there. That little 2 gap and that 1 gap is filled in with our orange concrete. So we fill that in with our orange concrete. And on the outside again, all out here, there's going to be orange concrete. So fill this in with orange concrete on the outside. Just going to mark it out once again. There we go, that's the first area done. So once again, we're going to mark this area as well. So on the outside, just going to mark it out on the outside again. And there we go, that's the area there done. So again, we still got quite a lot more areas, but we got a lot of small areas in here to do. It actually should be easier when we get onto the tiles, because the tiles are, well, I wouldn't say like not short, but they're only like kind of one big line, and then they got another kind of line like that, but they only have like one or two of those. In here we got like loads of small sections. These ones are kind of like small sometimes, and sometimes they're just one of their own. Anyway, I'm wasting time. Let's just get into this. So for the next area, we want to be flying over to the eye, and we want to be flying on this right hand side again inside this sector. And for this sector, we want to be flying to those 4 bottom right diagonals of the black concrete here, as you can see. And we want to be flying to the very bottom one right here. So flying towards the bottom one. Once we've flown towards the bottom one, take out our orange terracotta and place 2 going up from here. So 1 and 2. And place 1 to the left. And from this one that we place to the left, place 1 on top. Then do an upright diagonal. Whoops. And from this upright diagonal, place 2 on top, so 1 and 2. And then we're going to place 1 to the right, then flying to the left by 1, so back to this left corner right here. And we're going to place 2 going up from here, so 1 and 2. And then we're going to place 1 to the right, and then we're going to place 1 on top. And then we're going to place 1 to the right, and flying to the left by 1, so back to here. And so we're going to place 1 going up from here. Once we've done this, we're going to fly back to that one that we placed to the right just now, so this one right here at the top. And so we're going to place another one going to the right, and then 1 on top, and then 1 to the right. And then once we've done this, we're going to zoom out and fly to the next one that we place it right down here, so this one right here. And we're going to place another one to the right from here, and then place 1 on top. And then this time, we're going to place 2 to the right, so 1 and 2. And there we go, we're done that area as well. So, orange terracotta is going to go on the left hand side, inside here, and in that gap there. And on the right hand side, it's going to be filled in with our orange concrete. So, once again, we're just going to mark out the area on the right hand side with our orange concrete. And there we go, that's enough. So, on to the next small sector. So I think we've got like at least 4 more sectors to do, which is like 3 small ones and then, well, 1 fairly sized one. So on to the next area, we're going to be flying over to the underneath part of the eye. So over to the left hand side here, and as you can see this bit coming out, so you can to the left of this black concrete area. I can see to the left right here. So for the area, we're going to be going off those 3 bottom left diagonals right here at the black concrete, as you can see. Going towards kind of the nose, I guess you could say, but from the eye. And so we want to be flying to the very bottom one. Once we've flown to the very bottom one, with our orange terracotta, once again, place 1 to the right. Then do an upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, we're going to place 3 to the right. So 1, 2, and 3. Then place 1 underneath, and fly back up by 1, and place 1 to the right. We're not quite done yet though. We want to take our orange concrete and place 1 to the right, and then fly to the right by 1, so this black concrete right here. Take out your orange terracotta, place 1 to the right, and then do an upright diagonal, and then there we go. We're done with that area. So, orange terracotta is going to go up inside this area here, and then all the rest is filled in with orange concrete on the outside. So we start from these 2 upright diagonals here. Just fill on the outside with our orange concrete. And there we go, we're done right there. So again, orange concrete all inside down here, also down on the outside of the nose here. So, you know, you don't have to fill this in now, but I'm just going to quickly kind of show you. Orange concrete here. And yeah, that's good enough. Just again, as long as you don't go into the tails, that's not part of anything, that is air as well. But again, make sure you don't go into the tails. So, orange terracotta inside there. And for the next couple of areas, we're going to be flying to the top of the body. So flying up here, as you can see on this right side here, right here, as you can see, we're going to be flying inside to here, which is the body, if you can't tell. And we're going to be flying to that squiggly line going up right here again. Once again, we're going to be flying to the very end of the squiggly line, so right to here, this 2 right here. Once you've flown to here, take out your orange terracotta, place 1 on top, and place 1 to the right, and fly to the left by 1, so back to here, place 1 to the left, do a bottom left diagonal. From this bottom left diagonal, place 1 to the left, then place 1 on top, then fly underneath by 1, so back to this left corner here, and place 1 going to the left. Then place 1 going underneath, then place 1 going to the left, then place 1 going underneath, and then place 3 to the left. 1, 2, and 3, And then finally but not least, do a bottom left diagonal. And there we go. We've actually filled all of that in. So once we've done that, take out our orange concrete once again on the outside, fill it in with orange concrete. And there we go. So for the next final two areas, flying over to the left hand side to this area right here. For the area we're going to be starting off in this side, we're going to be starting off at the very bottom of these four bottom left diagonals of the black concrete right here. So flying to the very bottom right here, taking out our orange terracotta, once again place one to the left from here, the very bottom. We're then going to place three on top, so 1, 2 and 3. We then want to do two upright diagonals, so 1 and 2, and there we go. From the second upright diagonal, place 6 on top, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, place 2 on top, so 1 and 2. And then fly all the way back down to the bottom, so back to this upright diagonal that we did, where we placed the 2 on top. And we're going to place 1 going to the right, and then we're going to do 2 upright diagonals, so 1 and 2. From the second upright diagonal, place 2 on top, so 1 and 2. Then do another upright diagonal, and from this upright diagonal, place 2 on top, so 1 and 2. And then do another upright diagonal from here. And from this upright diagonal, place 10 on top, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And then we're going to do 2 upright diagonals, so 1 and 2. From the second upright diagonal, place 1 on top, and do another upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, place 2 on top, so 1 and 2. And then do another upright diagonal, and from this upright diagonal, place 1 on top, just like so. So on the left hand side, it's all going to be filled in with orange concrete once again, so make sure you only outline it with one single layer. So orange concrete on the left hand side. Just like so. You want to make sure we get the bottom here as well. And there we go. So as you can see, orange terracotta on the right hand side inside this area here. And then finally but not least, the final area we're going to be going off to. So again, inside this area, but we're going to be flying up here. And we want to take out our orange terracotta. And we want to be flying down to the 4 going up here. So if you say an upright diagonal direction from this point here, we want to be flying to this 4 right here, as you can see. So there's a 5 underneath it in the bottom left diagonal direction going down. And then in the upright diagonal direction, there's a 3 in total with a 2 on top, as you can see. So once we have done this, we want to fly to that 4. And we want to fly to the very bottom of the 4 right here. Once we've flown to the bottom, we want to place 1 orange terracotta going to the right from here. We then want to place 3 going underneath from here. So 1, 2 and 3. And we want to place 1 to the right. And flying to the left by 1, so back to here, and place another 3 underneath here. So 1, 2 and 3. Once we've done this, fly back to that one that we placed to the right, so back to here. Once we've flown back to here, place another 1 to the right, and then place 1 on top, and then do an upright diagonal. From this upright diagonal, place 1 on top, and do another upright diagonal. And then from this upright diagonal, place 1 on top, then place 1 to the left, and then fly to the right by 1, so back to this right corner here, and place 2 on top, so 1 and 2. And then fly back to that one, so to the left, so back to here. And so we're going to place another 1 to the left from here. And then we're going to place 2 on top, so 1 and 2. And then fly back down all the way down to the bottom here. So back to this bottom left corner. And place another 1 to the left. And then place 2 going underneath, 1 and 2. And then there we go. We are done with that area. Because as you can see, that second one that we placed underneath connects to the left of this one that we first placed to the right from the 4. Now we can zoom out. So all the inside there is going to be filled in with orange terracotta, and on all the outside is going to be orange concrete, and then that's everything done. All we got to do is fill everything in. So let's get the orange concrete, just fill on the outside. So it should be a bit easier to explain the next areas because there should be only basically one area on each tail. So it's kind of easy to get to. These areas, there were so many multiple areas that we just had to fly to in small little outlines we had to do. But there we go. So now all we got to do is fill it all in. So I'm going to give you a close-up perspective, and basically I'm just going to gradually show you each area filled in that we filled in, and then I'll do a full zoom out after. So you know basically a reference. So I'm going to give you two options. So let's fly over to the first leg first. So I'll show you the ear shaded in when we get to that part, because you already know inside there is grey concrete. So for the first leg, orange concrete to the left, orange terracotta to the right. The second leg, orange concrete to the left, and then to the right, orange terracotta. Moving over to the next leg, orange terracotta on the left hand side all the way down into here, and orange concrete on the right. Once again, orange terracotta down to the left here and underneath this part. Orange concrete all the way inside here, up to here, all the way up here, down on that little corner right there. And also that one little small gap right there as well, that is also orange concrete as well. And orange terracotta inside that little bit, orange concrete all on the outside, orange terracotta up into there, and then like kind of down there, and orange concrete again all on the outside here, up inside here, all the way down through that little outer part, because again the air right there is grey concrete, and then all orange concrete inside here, underneath the little mouth there part, and those little gaps, not in that gap there as you can see, because that is orange terracotta, that gap, and orange terracotta up there, orange terracotta to the right going up there, and orange terracotta inside there, and the orange concrete on the left hand side above it and up, and all that sort of stuff. So again, now I'm going to move to the first leg, now that I've explained areas all again. So you've got two options. So your first option is, if you want to pause the video right now, and you can fill everything in by yourself, and you see the end result for yourself, so you don't see my end result, and you get to see what it looks like for yourself from your perspective. Or if you want a reference to make sure you don't go wrong, and you want to see what it looks like, and then you want to fill it in, then you can pause the video right now. And there we go. As you can see, we have filled in all the orange concrete on the left hand side, and all orange terracotta on the right hand side. So again, if you haven't already filled this in, then pause the video right now and fill it in. If you already have filled it in, then we're going to move over to the next side. So you can already see the second leg as well. That is also orange concrete on the left hand side, and all orange terracotta on the right hand side right here as well. So again, if you haven't done this area, pause the video and complete this area. If you already have done this area, we're going to move over to the next area. So over to the next leg over here. As you can see, it's all orange terracotta all the way up here on the left hand side, all the way over to there, and orange concrete in that small little gap on the right hand side right there. Again, if you haven't done this area, pause the video. If you already have, moving on to the next area. As you can see, all orange concrete has filled in from the bottom all the way up to the top inside these areas, and you can see all the orange terracotta on the left hand side here underneath. And again, if you haven't done this area yet, pause the video right now and fill this area in. If you already have, moving on to the body so we can get pretty much everything in. So as you can see, we have filled in orange concrete all on the outside of those areas where it's meant to be filled in, and orange terracotta is all inside those little gaps where it was meant to be as well. As you can see, orange terracotta inside that bit, inside those little bits, that left bit there, up there, to the right over there, and inside that little bit. And all the orange concrete has been filled in all the outside, and we've also filled in all the grey concrete in the middle, as you can see as well. So once we have done these areas, we're going to zoom out and get the full zoom out so we can see everything that we've done, because that is all the shading done. To be honest, I actually feel like it took a lot quicker at filling that in than actually explaining it. Explaining it actually took a while for me, but there you go. Because there was a lot of areas to get to, so filling in actually wasn't that much. But there is the entire body and legs done. So now what we got to do in the next parts is we've got to just fill in the rest of the tails. So there's probably going to be two more parts. We're probably going to do the right hand side all in one video, and then we'll do all the left hand side one video to keep them just a bit shorter. Not as long as this one anyway, probably. And without further ado, I'll see you in the next one. If you did enjoy this build so far, and you think this build looks awesome, then feel free to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That'd be much appreciated and helps me out a lot. And without further ado, with that note being said, I'll see you in the next one. So peace out, enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.